Have you ever noticed at work, two people can put in the exact same effort, but only one of them gets that big promotion? The difference isn't always about talent or who works the longest hours. It's about how they approach their job. Today, I'm going to pull back the curtain and show you how top performers think, and reveal the one critical blind spot that holds most employees back. Stick around, because understanding this could completely change your career trajectory. So, what is the core difference? It's surprisingly simple. Average employees see their job as a list of tasks to complete. They come in, look at their to-do list, and their main goal is to check off as many items as possible before they clock out. Their guiding question is, what do I need to finish today? But top performers operate from a totally different mindset. They see work as a set of problems they are responsible for solving. They don't just focus on the what, they focus on the why. Their question isn't about finishing tasks, it's about achieving a goal. They ask themselves, what is the most important outcome I can deliver right now? This single shift in perspective from tasks to outcomes changes everything. It reframes your entire approach to your role. Instead of being a pair of hands executing instructions, you become a strategic partner driving the business forward. You start thinking like a leader, even if it's not in your job title. This is the secret sauce. It's not about doing more work. It's about making your work matter more. And when you make that mental switch, you start to see your job not as a series of obligations, but as a series of opportunities. This leads us to the concept of thinking in results. Top performers don't measure their success by the effort they put in or the hours they work. They could have a day filled with meetings and emails, but if nothing improved, they don't consider it a productive day. They measure their value by tangible changes. They ask themselves, what improved because of my work today? What process is now more efficient? What changed for the better for our team or our customers? What problem that existed yesterday has now disappeared because I solved it? This is exactly why their work stands out, even if they seem to be working fewer hours than everyone else. While others are busy detailing how much time they spent on a project, a top performer is busy explaining how their project increased sales by 5% or reduced customer complaints by 10%. Their contribution is clear, measurable, and directly tied to the company's goals. Managers don't have to guess their impact. It's right there in black and white. This is how you move from being seen as a cost center to being seen as an investment. You're not just busy, you're effective. Now, let's talk about the ownership mindset. This is where the difference between average and top performers becomes crystal clear, especially when things go wrong. Imagine a critical project deadline is missed or a system suddenly breaks. The average employee's first instinct is often defensive. They might explain why it wasn't their fault, point fingers at another department, or detail all the reasons why the failure was unavoidable. Their focus is on deflecting blame. A top performer, on the other hand, reacts completely differently. They don't waste time on excuses. Their immediate focus is on the solution. They ask, okay, this happened. What's the next best move to fix it? Or how can we minimize the damage and get back on track? They don't wait to be told what to do. They take initiative and demonstrate responsibility for the outcome, regardless of who was technically at fault. They own the problem until it's solved. This kind of proactive problem solving is incredibly rare and valuable. Managers notice this immediately. They see someone who is reliable, solution-oriented, and can be trusted with more responsibility. When you consistently demonstrate this ownership mindset, you become the go-to person for important challenges, and that puts you on the fast track for advancement. Next up is smart prioritization, because top performers understand a fundamental truth very early in their careers: not all work is created equal. The 80/20 principle is their guiding star. They know that roughly 20% of their efforts will generate 80% of their results. So they become masters at identifying and focusing on that critical 20%. They ruthlessly prioritize tasks that have the highest leverage. What does that look like in practice? They prioritize work that directly informs important decisions. They focus on tasks that will save the company significant time or money. They tackle work that reduces major risks. They aren't afraid to say no or not now to low-impact requests. They completely avoid the trap of performative work, the act of staying busy just to look productive. While others are drowning in a sea of trivial tasks, top performers are making strategic moves that create real, visible value. They're playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. This strategic focus ensures that their energy is always invested where it will have the biggest impact, which is why they consistently achieve more with less apparent effort. So, how can you start applying this mindset tomorrow? It doesn't require a massive overhaul of your entire work life. You can start with one simple rule. Each morning, before you dive into your inbox or your task list, take a moment to identify one key result that you know your manager or your team deeply cares about right now. It could be improving a specific metric, solving a recurring customer issue, or finishing a key phase of a project. Once you have that result in mind, work backward from it. Ask yourself, what are the one or two actions I can take today that will get us closer to that result? Focus your best energy on those actions. Then, at the end of the day or the week, don't just say you completed the tasks. Clearly communicate what changed because of your work. For example, instead of saying, I finished the report, you could say, I finished the report, and the key finding shows we can save 15% on costs by switching vendors. This simple habit of focusing on and communicating results will immediately separate you from the vast majority of your peers. In the end, top performers aren't necessarily louder, luckier, or even smarter than anyone else. They are simply more deliberate. They are strategic about where they invest their time and energy. They understand that the goal isn't to be the busiest person in the room, it's to be the most effective. If you want to accelerate your growth at work, stop thinking in tasks and start thinking in outcomes. Shift your focus from the effort you put in to the results you produce. This mindset is the engine of every successful career. If you found this advice helpful, please give this video a like. It really helps the channel. And for more practical insights on how to level up your career, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.